The debate about books in the young adult section at libraries continues, and now the governor's gotten involved. And a federal court isn't happy with Alabama, so we're back to the drawing board on voting maps. Plus, a job report shows employment for Alabama teens, and the results are more complicated than you may think. All that and more is coming up on News 4 at 6. That starts right now.
From your hometown news leader, this is WTVY News 4 at 6.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Kinsley Centers. Thank you for joining us for News 4 at 6. Governor Kay Ivey is asking Alabama's public library service to make sure it's providing what she calls a, quote, safe environment for kids. The governor sent a letter to Director Dr. Nancy Pack, saying she had been informed some libraries in the state are featuring books on subjects like gender identity and gender transition in sections for kids and teens. She also says she's heard libraries have books with graphic sexual scenes in these sections. That includes Adel County Library. The governor says she's not asking for the books to be removed, but to be put in a more age-appropriate section. She asks the director to respond to her questions before their next board meeting next Wednesday. This comes after a packed-out meeting at the Ozark-Dale County Library last week, where the library board held an open forum discussing content matters in the young adult section of the library. The Alabama Library Association says books in the young adult section are for children ages 12 to 18. The Ozark-Dale County Library was accused of having sexually explicit content and LGBTQ+ content in the young adults section. While some voiced their concerns of these books being targeted for young kids, others stood up for the books to stay in that section.
I don't want you to take the books out. I want to talk about it. I want to know why you believe what you believe, right? I want to talk about it. But let's protect the eyes of the youth.
Since the section is specifically labeled young adult and not teen, it's up to the parent to decide what is okay for their child to consume, not our city. If you think your child is not mature enough for the young adult section, keep them in the children's.
The library vice chairman, Mike Cairns, says that no books would be removed from the collection, but some could be moved to a new section. He said, quote, it'll just be moved to the adult section if it is adult material, not banned, end quote. You can continue to follow this story on WTVY.com as updates happen. Well, let's back to the drawing board. A panel of federal judges blocked Alabama's new congressional map. Now another map for Alabama's voting districts will have to be drawn. But Alabama's top attorney isn't giving up the fight. The three-judge panel was deeply troubled at Alabama's latest map, saying lawmakers ignored their orders. Now a special master and cartographer will be appointed to draw those new districts for the state. Rosanna Smith has more.
Once again, a three-judge panel rejected Alabama's congressional map. The legislature is required every time a census is done to redraw the congressional lines. In 2022, the panel struck down the state's newly drawn map based on the 2020 census. The Supreme Court agreed and ordered Alabama to redraw the map.
It's important for us to be on the right side of voting rights.
Evan Milligan is one of the plaintiffs who filed the lawsuit that led to the ruling.
The state has been moving in a direction that would frame voting rights almost as a privilege that are available to a few instead of a right that all participants in democracy should have access to.
The court said Alabama needed to create two districts where black voters have the opportunity to elect the representative of their choice. In a special session this summer, Alabama lawmakers passed a new map that maintained a single majority black district and boosted the percentage of black voters in another district, District 2, from about 30% to almost 40%. But in its ruling, the three-judge panel said that wasn't enough. House Minority Leader Anthony Daniels says the debate didn't have to get to this point.
At the end of the day, we're elected to do what's right, but not what's politically expedient. And we wasted taxpayers' dollars by litigating this case.
There are those who don't agree with the judge's ruling. The Alabama Republican Party released a statement that reads, while we respect the court, we are disappointed in its decision, and we trust that the state will ultimately prevail in this litigation. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Wes Allen said in part, quote, while we wait for a final map, my office will continue to support local officials as we ensure that we are prepared to conduct safe, secure, and fair elections in Alabama, end quote. Milligan says the ruling brings hope and he's in the fight for however long it takes.
This ruling today is not only a victory for the plaintiffs, it's a victory for this broader community of Alabamians.
That was Rosanna Smith reporting, and the fight is not over yet. The state is expected to appeal the decision. Alabama Attorney General Steve Marshall maintains the map complies with the Voting Rights Act and the recent decision of the U.S. Supreme Court. Marshall says he will seek review from the High Court to ensure Alabama can use its congressional districts next year and beyond. And the special master and cartographer have until September 25th to suggest 3 new maps. After news of the blocking, many Alabama officials voiced their opinion on the decision. News 4's Bayla Walker has those responses. Bayla, how do those reactions look?
Yeah, Kinsley, I reached out to Barry Moore, the congressional district representative who represents Southeast Alabama, including areas right here in the Wiregrass. And here's what he said. Quote, "This process is far from over, as Attorney General Marshall has already announced the state is appealing the court's decision." Moore says that his priority is to continue working for the people of Alabama's 2nd Congressional District. And Anthony Daniels, Alabama's District 53 representative, said the 3-judge panel rightfully recognized that the state's map represented defiance over compliance and failed to remedy the state's Section 2 violations. And Kinsley, as you said a minute ago, this battle is far from over.
Bayla Walker, thank you for that report. Well, turning our attention to weather now, is a hot Tuesday across the Wiregrass. You're looking live at Flowers Hospital in Dothan. Sunny skies today as well, but our forewarned weather team is tracking slight rain chances. Let's join Chief Meteorologist David Paul. David, when will this sunny sky pattern come to an end?
That rain chance shows up for the second part of Thursday. This evening, very quiet. Tomorrow will be very quiet too. Plenty of sunshine now. Those clouds are fading as we work into the evening hours. Temperatures are coming down, 89 at this point. That dew point, 67 degrees, so it feels like 92. The air is relatively dry, but a little more moisture comes in for our Thursday, combined with some energy, and that will produce that rain chance. Right now, widespread upper 80s to around 90 degrees after being in the lower 90s today. No rain showing up on the Doppler radar. Really not many clouds for us as we go through the evening hours or through tonight. Some showers and storms north and northwest of us. This area wet again for tomorrow. For us, we will wait until Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening for some shower and thunderstorm activity. This evening, 80s, then falling into the 70s. Sunset coming up around 7 p.m. Temperatures will be in the lower 70s, even upper 60s in spots for tomorrow morning. So pretty good as we begin our Wednesday. I will track that rain chance for you, track some heat, at least during the daytime period, and then take you into the weekend too in just a bit, Kinsley.
Looking forward to those rain chances, David. Thanks so much. This hour, one man is recovering from what we now know was an explosion from a chemical compound. This happened in Dothan last Tuesday. Sheriff Donald Valenza tells us the homeowner, 78-year-old William Harrison, was trying to clean the bottom of his pond with chemicals when the explosion happened.
He was making devices, more or less a homemade bomb, to drop in the ponds to clear the bottom out. And at some point, there was unexpected detonation, which caused the death of Mr. Harrison.
Harrison's neighbor was with him at the time of the incident and was severely burned. He's recovering at a burn center in Atlanta. Right now, the investigation is still ongoing, but no charges are expected. The sheriff says he's waiting to hear back from the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives and the FBI. Soon it may be easier to find parking in downtown Dothan. The city council amended an ordinance today. This will allow for reduced required parking at downtown businesses by 50%. This means some parking lots or spaces that were dedicated to certain businesses or restaurants will now become free use. Dothan Mayor Mark Saliba says the city has been doing a traffic study to see what can make traffic flow better.
We are trying to be creative and have more spaces for parking on streets as well, and you'll see some of that as we continue to do some revitalization here. Make more parking on the streets, as well as parking so that traffic can flow a little bit better. As we continue to finish our survey on traffic, then we'll start incorporating maybe those bits of information as well that come to us.
Saliba says the goal is to lift the burden of parking spots being a premium downtown. He and the council believe people visiting downtown should not have to struggle so heavily to find a spot. Enterprise High School is brewing opportunities and coffee to ensure all graduates find success after high school. That story is steaming hot and ready for you right after the break. Stay with us.
My name is Mike Brock, and I'm an attorney here at Brock.
From the Fort Warren Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist David Paul.
Temperatures today reaching the lower 90s, more hot days ahead for us, averaging in the middle 90s, but coolish at night, upper 60s to low 70s. Limited rain chances over the next several days, but Thursday at least will produce some shower and thunderstorm activity in the Wiregrass. We could certainly use it at that point. 91 now in Troy, 90 in Geneva, some upper 80s out there, Enterprise to Dothan, southward to Mariana at 89 degrees at this point. We have dry skies on the Doppler radar. No rain in our area today. A few clouds earlier. Most of those are gone, and we will keep it mainly clear for the overnight. Northward and westward, a few showers and storms. I'm watching a piece of energy way out here over parts of Nevada and the Rocky Mountains. This will go up and over a ridge of high pressure and then come into our area for Thursday, and that will help produce the showers and storms. Let's track it as we go through time. There it is, coming on through parts of the Midwest and then dropping down to the southeast for late Wednesday and into Thursday. With the heating of the day on Thursday and the moisture in place here, showers and storms breaking out. Kind of hit or miss in nature, but at least some downpours Thursday at 4 p.m. All right, short term looking at a relatively clear sky for tonight. Upper 60s to low 70s, so feeling good early tomorrow, but we will warm up pretty quickly during the day. Noontime on Wednesday. Upper 80s to about 90 in spots, and high temperatures lower to middle 90s under a sunny to partly cloudy sky. Tomorrow evening and tomorrow night looking nice and quiet. A few passing clouds, low temps, lower 70s for Thursday at 6. And then for Thursday, still dry through noontime, partly cloudy skies at that point. Then with the heating, we get some of these pop-up showers and storms. That piece of energy comes in. We get the moisture to be lifted up into the atmosphere, and we get showers and storms, locally heavy downpours, but again, kind of hit or miss in nature for our Thursday p.m. All right, here's your tropical update across the Atlantic Basin. Some swirls, lingering areas north. The main action is Tropical Storm Lee, and then another tropical wave that is farther to the east. This has the makings of a powerful hurricane over the next few days. Very good outflow, a very good low-level circulation. It is ramping up already, a tropical storm with winds of 45 miles per hour. Lee will become a major hurricane as it tracks off to the west-northwest. A lot of computer models take it northward here before it reaches the U.S., but that's looking a long ways out. So anyone with interest along the eastern seaboard needs to be on guard just in case. This time of year, these storm tracks aren't guaranteed. They're not set in stone, looking 7 to 10 days out. All right, yellow flags to the coast tomorrow. A light chop on coastal lakes and bays, 87 the water temperature at the beach. Pretty good beach weather for sure if you can get away midweek. 70 tonight, mostly clear skies tomorrow. Sunny to partly cloudy, our high at 94. So big swings here because the air stays pretty dry. Thursday, some showers and storms though with that moisture and that energy coming in. And then Friday, Saturday, looks like any rain chances primarily across the southern part of the area. High temps stay in the middle 90s. And it looks like that humidity level will drop even more for the weekend. So that means some cooler air at night, upper 60s by Sunday morning. Back to 94 Monday and Tuesday, low end rain chances at that point. So a relatively dry pattern, which is typical for September, but at least there's hope on Thursday for some much needed rainfall, especially the areas that missed out on the main rain last week.
Yes, looking forward to that. Again, I hope that it makes its way to my house and everyone who needs it, really. I mean, I hope you all get the rain you need.
Yeah, it was so weird last week because some areas had under a half inch and then some areas had over 5 inches.
I know, so it's not fair.
It's the haves and the have-nots. It's not fair. I wish we could just make it uniform. It doesn't work like that.
Me too, David. Yeah. Thanks so much. Yeah. Enterprise High School is brewing opportunities and coffee to ensure all graduates find success after high school. Coffee Cats is a class that teaches students with special needs, customer service, and hard work. News 4's Kaylee Wright shows us the progress a coffee shop is making.
5 years flew by, and Coffee Cats has grown.
I have been with it since the beginning. It started in my classroom, and we've worked up each year to now we're in the school store.
Employees greet guests with a smile.
Welcome to Coffee Cats Cafe.
And learn what it means to be on a team.
I know it's hard to work hard, and it's not that easy in enterprise, but I know all of us can work together as a group, even though all of us doesn't get on the same page. But that's all we can hope for the best.
The students work like professionals and train like professionals.
So we've worked with businesses in the community, we've worked with the Bean Bro, and we're just working with our students to learn those work skills and life skills to get them to meaningful employment when they exit our program.
The students build a resume and go through an interview process at Coffee Cats.
We had the study guide, we had like the interview. It was good though.
The students' hard work and extensive training makes the perfect blend for employers.
Like we have some at Publix, we've had some at McDonald's, and they get very good reviews, and the businesses say that they can tell that they've been trained while they're here at high school.
In Enterprise, I'm Kaylee Wright for your Hometown News Leader.
Right now, the shop is only open on Fridays for faculty. As the students build a routine, there will be additional hours. Statewide survey shows Alabama is lagging in some areas when it comes to youth who are employed and those who are not. The survey looked at the age group from 16 to 24 years old. It shows that Alabama has the highest rate of disconnected youth, meaning they are not working or in school. That number was 18%, the highest in the nation. The study also says that transportation is a big reason for this trend.
We have got to do a better job as a community, as a state, of handling those types of issues. Transportation, particular types of education programs, work-based learning for our students, getting our young people engaged in work, and understanding the pathways to success.
Advocates say more needs to be done to encourage teens at a younger age about the benefits of employment. It's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for our Pet of the Week. We had this precious beagle named Waffles. Our friend was as sweet as syrup, but after a long day of play, by the time he hit our studios for his on-air debut, he was ready to make like a pancake and flatten out for a nap. He's 4 years old, fully vetted and microchipped, and he looks adorable. And he'd be a great addition to your family. If you'd like to give him a forever home, head to WTVY.com for more information. The Dothan Wolves want to stay undefeated as we enter week 2 of high school football. Can they do it against the very team that took them out of the playoffs? More on that after the break.
And now, Brianna Jones with News 4 Sports.
It's the closest thing to facing your rival. The Dothan Wolves football team is gearing up for Auburn High School this Friday at Rip Hughes Stadium. Just to refresh your memory, folks, Auburn took down Dothan twice last season, including in the second round of the playoffs, which means the Wolves are coming into this game hungry and eager, not only for that win, but to stay undefeated. The team is coming off a 42-6 win over Percy Julian, former Lee High School, another region foe. Auburn is coming off a loss to Enterprise.
Well, I just want us to play hard. I tell our kids all the time when the game gets done, I want people that come and watch the game and people that we play against that say that that's the hardest team, hardest working team they've played against all year and the most physical team. I think if you do those two things, you've got yourself a chance to win a football game. Certainly something we pride on here at Dothan, and we'll see Friday night if we do that.
Right now, the Wolves sit third in Class 7A Region 2 standings. Florida State is making a big statement in its 2023 season. For the first time since the preseason of 2017, the Seminoles are in the AP's top 5 teams. FSU took down LSU 45-24 over the weekend. The win helped them climb from 8th to 4th, while the Tigers dropped from 5th to 14th. The Seminoles also made 5th in the coaches poll, capping off a major week for the ACC. Let's take a deeper dive into that new AP poll, which was released today. Georgia remains at #1, while Alabama makes the jump to #3 here. Of course, we know Kinsley's excited about that. Ohio State drops down 2 spots after a 20-point win against Indiana. Now, Colorado, this is one we'll all be watching. They're #22 after the win over TCU, but Clemson, they go down 16 spots. Some people saying they probably should have went out altogether after that loss to Duke. Still a very exciting time, folks. We're still in week 1. Now, what's up with the Dogs as we get into week 2? Georgia may have been caught gasping for air while playing UT Martin in its home opener this past weekend. The #1 team in the country managed to score only 17 points in the first half. They would turn up a bit in the second, scoring 31, but the effects of those roster changes are not going unnoticed.
You know, there's so many things we can get better at, and every coach in the country saying that you get better from game 1 to game 2 is the biggest jump you make. So if that's the case, then there's a lot of areas to improve in.
Now, kickoff is set for noon this Saturday between Ball State and Georgia. Kinsley, I know you got a little excited when I talked about what's happening with Georgia and, of course, what's happening with Alabama, but it's still early.
I know. It is early. There's still a lot of football to play, but I'm excited. We got off on the right foot, I feel like.
Yeah, I think so. How are you feeling about Auburn?
I mean, it wasn't much of a challenge, I guess, this weekend, but they had a good game, put up a lot of points, so let's keep watching these games. It'll be fun for sure. 80s and 70s this evening under a relatively clear sky all the way through tonight. 94 tomorrow, 95 on Thursday. Some pop-up shower and storm activity on Thursday. Rain chances pretty low for Friday and the weekend. We keep it in the middle 90s over the next several days, but low temps not bad, upper 60s to lower 70s, as it won't be real muggy overall for the next week.
That's good news.
That is good.
Thanks, David, and thanks for joining us. You can join Bayla over on the 630.